Alright, good day YouTubers. Uncle Dave from DC's Adventures. I've got an interesting item I just received here. It's a tick removal kit issued by the Maine CDC. We're going to pull this apart here in a second, open it up, show you what's in it. I think it's a pretty cool little kit. And give me a second here, I'll get on the other side of the camera and we'll pull this thing open, pull it apart, and I'll talk a little bit about why these items are in there. And you know, some of you guys might know my buddy was infected with Lyme disease when we were filming the Off the Grid project. I think it was probably the first 2 days that we were out on season 2. So I want to do this video and talk a little bit more about it because ticks are pretty serious. I know a lot of guys just, you know, you got to check a lot, but a lot of guys sometimes they'll just check when they get home and pluck all the ones that they have on them off and then not worry about it. But really, you need to be cautious about ticks for sure and prevent them as much as possible. I recommend at least 40 DEET or stronger. You don't have to put it on your skin. You can just put it on your clothes. I soak my boots and leggings with that. Anything 40 DEET or above is good for that. I know you don't really want to put that stuff on your skin once you get into high DEETs. Yeah, you're probably looking at something crazy, cancer, who knows. But definitely put it on your legs and your shoes, and you know, the ticks, they lose their scent, so they'll fall right off you when they fall on you or get on you from, you know, walking through tall grass or brush. But anyways, we'll get back to this kit here. It's an interesting little kit. I always like seeing the kits that come out of the CDC. I'll get over here and pull this thing apart here and see what's inside. I'll take the common things out first. This is a little tick puller. It's like a little spoon. It has a little V here, you can see, and like, you know, let's say that sweet mole I have there is a tick. You put it in here and get underneath it and then pull it out. Yeah, it says that on it. Those you can buy in the store, you can buy at Walmart and everything. I don't know, I've never really seen a kit, but I've definitely seen those spoons for sale. I don't personally use those. A lot of people, well, we'll get into the other ways that other people get these things off after we look at what's in here. Okay, there's a little jar here, so that's interesting, right? I'll talk about that in a second. And this is pretty cool, right here. It's hard to get open though. Alright, here it is. First we get a tick ID. Alright, we got a tick ID here. Sorry, I think I was standing in a bunch of the light for a little while there. But I don't know if you can really see that with this camera. But it says, it gives a picture of what a deer tick looks like and a dog tick or a wood tick. And the wood ticks are the ones that are more common, but actually this year in Maine I've seen no wood ticks at all, and I've seen just the deer ticks. But it depends on how many birds you have and stuff too in your area, because I have a lot of birds that move through, and the dog ticks are a lot bigger, so the birds see them easily and pluck them right out. This is a cool little brochure here. It actually does say a lot of things. Talks about preventing bites. Let's see if I can get a better shot so maybe you guys can read this. But it has yeah, it's a cool little booklet that talks all about it. It talks on the back about how to use the removal tool and how to treat it and everything, and what to do, and the reason why this is in here, which I've always been taught this. If you get a bite from a tick and you remove it, you don't just flick it into the woods, alright? You want to take it and put it in a container, or I just put it in between 2 pieces of tape, and that's usually fine. But then, you know, if you get a bullseye swelling, which bullseye swelling is what you get when you get a tick bite that is infected. Oh, excuse me. Alright, sorry about that. That was actually my buddy there, the guy who got the Lyme disease. Just calling to say hey and see what I'm up to today. And he's doing better. Like I was gonna say, if you get the bullseye, which I'll show you some pictures right here. This is what a bullseye looks like if you've been bit by a deer tick that has Lyme disease. You'll get that bullseye the next day, and that means you need to go and get antibiotics. If you get antibiotics on time, quick enough, and you'll take them for 30 days, you should be able to get all of the disease out of your system before it really embeds itself. If you don't get it early enough, if you just say, oh, I think I'm fine, and then you wait until you have all kinds of back pains and shoulder pains and everything like that, then you can take the medicine, it will get rid of it, but it'll still hide in your joints, and then it will slowly come back. And you'll get, every once in a while you'll have to take medicine to get rid of it, and it can be a lifelong disease. So tick business is really serious business. It's not just like, mosquitoes can get serious if there's malaria in the area, but up here ticks are the ones that you really have to deal with that can be a pain in your butt for a lifelong time. Alright, this comes in it. It's a little card that also pretty much says what's on the back of that card, the tick ID card, and this shows you how to use your little spoon here, that device. It also comes with a magnet, don't become a tick magnet, it says on it. That's great, huh? Maine state seal down there, so this is definitely the Maine CDC giving these out. But Maine has some pretty hardcore ticks, and like I said, this year I've just seen deer ticks, which is not good because deer ticks are the ones that carry the disease. Comes with one hand sanitizer wipe, which I think it should have probably just come with a couple alcohol pads. Well, it's a pretty cool little kit, and then of course you have this see-through little plastic thing, and it says tick removal, Maine CDC, a little tick emblem on a keychain. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't know where you can get these. I was given this by someone that goes to conventions and stuff like that. She's in the medical field, and she's in disease control, actually. Works with AIDS patients. Now, as far as removal, there definitely is a bunch of different ways to remove these things. These spoons are what the CDC is saying is a good idea, and they seem like a pretty good idea. But I've also known people, Morris Klansky actually, he says that you just rub them in a circle. If you rub them in a circle, that they'll unwind themselves kind of and be irritated enough that they'll pull out. And then you can just get rid of them that way. I've never tried that. I've seen people cover them in like Vaseline or something, and then over a little while they back out because I think they don't have any air. And then I've seen a lot of people, this is what they used to do when I was a kid, but you can't heat it up too much. Some people just heat it up too much is the problem. You can heat up a knife, like your pocket knife, or whatever you have on you. Some people use a spoon if they're at home. And you don't heat it up red hot. A lot of people heat it up too much, so when they touch the back of the tick, it pops the back of the tick, which then its head's still stuck in you, and you can get infection from that. What you really need to do is just get it warm enough that it's a little warm, and then you place it on the back of the tick, and the tick will back right out because it's getting hot and it realizes that it needs to get out of there. So that's how a lot of people I've always seen growing up take them out, but or you can just twist and then try to be gentle and pull them, and sometimes they'll come out, but sometimes their head will pop off and still be in there, and that'll cause a big infection. You'll have to pull it out with tweezers and douse it in alcohol. So anyways, I really like this kit. It's a great little kit. It's really interesting. This is what the CDC is putting out for it. It's good information. And this is like plasticky, so it seems pretty waterproof. I think I could easily put this in a kit, and then you can at least have a nice identifier, and It shows you the different sizes all the way to nymphs, all the way up. And talks about Lyme disease and prevention and everything. So it's pretty cool. In your little container, which you probably wouldn't carry on you all the time, or maybe you would. I just carry a couple pieces of tape stuck to each other with some tabs so you can pull it back apart, and then you put a tick in there if you find one on you. Because if you're on a long hike, you might find 4 or 5 before you even get back home, and you can just give them to your physician, have them tested. Probably costs a couple $100 a piece. I'm really aware of not getting them on my body, so I keep my shirt tucked in, have my pants all clinched at the bottom. I wear outdoor pants when I'm outdoors hiking, and I use Dietz 40 on my legs of my pants and on my boots, and that usually keeps them down. But I also I'm so paranoid about them that I check so much. I'll check multiple times a day. Every single time I go through any long grass or anything, I'll stop and pull all my gear off right there in the bush and check myself really quick, make sure there's none on me. And usually you find a couple on you, pull them off and just get rid of them. Just something you have to deal with in the northern bush. And I imagine they're down south too. I don't know, when I hiked in California I really didn't deal with ticks that much, but I have encountered them there. So I know there are some ticks out there. Not deer ticks though, I think just the wood or dog tick is the only one I've seen out there. Well, thanks for joining me. This video is kind of long. It was an interesting item that I just picked up. Rate, comment, subscribe, and thanks for the support, everybody.